What is up, guys? It's your boy Paul here, coming at you with another video today. Today what I want to talk to you guys about is the idea of ideas in, ideas out, okay? And this is why I spend so much time, why I make it a habit in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night to do these things all the time, because it helps me think and process whatever issues I'm facing in whatever area of my life. The more ideas that I can put in and internalize, the more I can put out in the processes, in execution, in leadership. I just had a meeting tonight with some of my team members, and we were going over goals for October and where we were at in that. And we had made goals for the following 4 months in September. And so I was kind of just reconvening with them, asking them where they were at, asking them, if they needed help with anything, strategies moving forward, what to get done in October, what they need to relay to me, just processing all this stuff for October so that we can be on the same page as a team. And, I've realized the more that I listen to people ahead of me, the more that I read the books behind me, the more that I put ideas into my head, the more that leadership seems to flow than it would if I didn't, right? The more that processing whatever issues that I'm facing seems to flow. The more that whenever I'm faced with a circumstance of how do I, generate this result for this client, or how do I, process this issue with, this money over here, or, how do I process this issue with this person dealing with this? What do I suggest to them? What do I give them? Where do I take them? What direction do I do? What direction do I go with them? All these issues that we face when we're dealing with people. People are the most complex thing that we'll have to deal with, and when we're leading, when we're in any organization that we're causing a movement or whatever it may be, we're dealing with people, right? And people by far are the most complex thing that we will deal with, and I'm convinced that no one knows anything about people. We know things about how people work, but if you ask yourself, who am I really? What am I really? It's easy to give a shallow answer or a surface level answer, but truthfully, none of us know even the depths of our own selves. If you even think about your mind and how it works, and your soul and memory, and what you're made of, and all this stuff, like there's so many unknowns even about us, right? And then our interactions and how that shapes our personality, and what is personality, and how does it get shown, and is it born, or is it a characteristic of environment, and what causes that? There's traumatic things that happen in life, there's good things that happen, personalities change, and some personalities come out in this environment and others in others environment, and there are so many factors to the human experience that we just don't know, right? And so here's why I'm even getting off on that tangent of those things, because if you're trying to process all these things within your own head of what do I think I should do now, and you're not getting fed from any other sources, whether it be people ahead of you that you look up to, or books, or anything like that. And again, let's filter this information. Let's make sure that the information that we're learning from is not crap, because we all get fed crap every day. And, getting fed that stuff, well, that makes you dumber. So half of the battle is picking the right things to pour into your head, because there are so many messages right now that are screaming at you with, what should be poured into your head. And so this is why this idea is so important, and this is why you see so many CEOs and leaders and people who are changing the world, why they're readers. Because regardless of what they're reading, what it comes down to is the process of ideas in, ideas out. It's ideas in, ideas out. The more that you can put in your head, the more you can process, the more that you can ask questions, the more you can ask, what is the right move here? I really don't know what I'm doing 99% of the time, but let me be a little less wrong this time than I was last time, right? Let me move a little bit more towards the true north than I did last time when I pushed our team away from our goal, and I didn't even mean to. And that's why this is so important, because if you have no one to process issues with, here's the coolest thing of what I found. And I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about Napoleon Hill, but one thing that he said that always stuck out to me, because I noticed it in my own life. He said he would go to a place in his head where he would sit with his mentors, right? So many different people. He said, I think it got up to like 50 different people who he would talk to, and they would answer him back. I cannot tell you how many times I do that in my head. The reason why it stuck out to me is because I do that. And so the more that you can get people in your life, even if they aren't in your life, but you study them, you know how they work, you see how they answer questions, you see how their brain works, you see all the stuff, the more you can just ask them the question. You can literally ask them the question in your head and see how they would respond, and see how that would be different than this mentor in your life would respond and this one. And here's something important that I think we got to think about too, is that mentor qualified to give you advice in that area of life? So a lot of people, when they think of mentors, they go to the same person for every area of their life. Well, not bad if that's where you want to be, in that exact replica situation of that person, but how are you going to, let's say asking advice from someone, let's say you've made millions and you're trying to think about what to do with it. You don't care about having the millions, but you also want to be responsible, and you don't just want to lose it all, but you also want to give. So how do I handle the money in that situation? Well, going to someone who's only ever made $100 grand a year or $200 grand a year, even though that's a lot in a lot of people's eyes, they're still not qualified because they don't have the millions. So half of it as well is going to the right mentors with the right circumstances, because you can have a spiritual mentor for something and have a totally different guy for finances, have a totally different guy for physical fitness, whatever the case may be. You can't have really one guy for every area of your life. At least it doesn't seem like that would make sense, right? And so again, filtering the information, filtering who are you asking advice from, and when you're listening, are they qualified to even give you advice on that? What are their failures? What are their successes? So all of this pretty much comes down to putting more ideas in your head so you can execute on more ideas and be less wrong more often. Because truth be told, we are wrong all the time. All the time. Everything that we're doing in life, there's a degree of it being wrong. I don't remember the last time I executed on a day 100% perfectly. And I don't know of anyone who has. So it's the idea of filtering these things, processing, and moving towards the North Star, right? So I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense on why you should be reading, why you should be learning, why you should be watching videos, why you should be asking questions, why you should have mentors. All right. So look, that's today's video. If it helped, please leave it down in the comments below. I would love to hear how. I would love to hear what part of it helped you the most with processing and where you're at right now. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who could use this video as well, please share it with them as well. And as always, stay tuned for the next one. All right. See you guys.